All right, welcome everybody to the first ever episode of Trudge Report podcast. My name is Shawn. I will be your host. I am joined by my esteemed colleagues. I will be joined by these esteemed colleagues every single week, and I'm just going to go real quick how I see you on the screen. I got Mr. Bill DeLuca.
Woo-wee!
Sorry. Up on the left, I got my buddy Corey on my right. Right below me is Mr. G.A. Phillips. What's up, Greg?
Hola.
All righty. So, guys, this is the first ever Trudge Report podcast. We are brought to you and we are presented by Stella Mixed Podcast Management. Like I said, I'm going to be your host. Trudge Report is our new show where we will talk about our experience in recovery, the latest in sports and trending culture, our lives as friends, and beyond. You can check out new episodes of Trudge Report every Tuesday on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to smash the like button and subscribe on all social media platforms with the handle at Trudge Report Pod. Again, that is at Trudge Report Pod, just how it sounds, just how it's spelled out. Guys, I'm nervous. I'm happy to be here. I'm jazzed. I have all kinds of emotions going on right now. I'm not really sure what to do with my hands. Thank God you can't see them. This is something that, I've dreamed about for a while. I know we've been talking about it for a while, and it kind of legitimately just like came to fruition just a few short weeks ago, and we are here. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
I want to know what you're doing with your hands.
Yeah. Hands up.
That'll be disclosed at a later date. Greg, how's the weather up there and where you're from in the very chilly Midwest?
It is actually absolutely beautiful for February. It's been like 50s and 60s all week, and we're getting ready for another cold snap next week. So we'll see.
Nice. Bill and Corey, I know exactly how the weather is because we're just a few miles from each other. But how are you guys doing? Bill, how you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to do this with you guys. Like you said, it's been kind of like a long time in the works. So I'm ready to get into action.
Good stuff. I like it looks like you got you're sitting in a racing chair, by the way.
I am.
No
Ross
white shawl tonight. No, yeah, Ross dropped it off. Ross we'll have Rattlesnake Ross on as a guest at some point, but by all means. Corey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm not coming that week. I'm fine. I'm fine, Shawn.
That might be smart.
That means good for Corey. Fine.
That is very good. Yeah, Corey, just so we'll put it out there right now. Corey is the lovable curmudgeon of our group. We'll put that out for everyone to know right now.
What's a
lovable?
Curmudgeon is like a cranky old person, essentially, that like criticizes and like critiques every little thing they see.
Doesn't sound like me.
Basically, he's like someone from Philly.
There you go. Well, more. There will be more of that. I can promise you. All right, guys. So this is our first episode.
Real quick, Shawn. Curmudgeon is a crusty, ill-tempered, and usually old man. Just so we know exactly what curmudgeon means.
Hold on, is crusty actually in there?
Yeah, I swear to God. Yeah. Merriam-Webster: crusty, ill-tempered, and usually old man.
Crusty.
Yeah.
Come on.
It can be a verb or an adjective, Corey.
I regret this already.
Okay, good. That's perfect. That's kind of right where we want you to be. All right. So, like we said, this is our first episode, guys, and we have so many different directions this can go. But what we want to do first is just kind of go around. Each one of us are going to spend about 5 or so minutes just kind of introducing ourselves, talking about a little bit about where we're from, what brought us to where we're currently, in our current state, where we're living, kind of how we met each other. You want to throw a few funny anecdotes in there, fine. If one of the other guys want to roast one of the other guys, that's fine too. But we're going to get started with that. So I'm going to kick it to Corey first. Youth and beauty before wisdom and age for the rest of us. And Corey, the floor is yours, my friend.
Thanks, Shawn. Grateful to be here. Yeah. All right. So here's the deal. I am not from Philadelphia, but I am from East. Yeah.
Philadelphia, born and raised.
East of no.
On the playground.
No. I have engaged in some suspicious activities in Philadelphia multiple times. Some involving cheesesteaks. But No, from South Jersey. From South Jersey. And we can get into the whole topic later, but it is perfectly. Whoa, somebody just drove past you, Shawn.
That was you, Shawn?
I think so.
All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But anyway, it's perfectly acceptable for me to be a Philadelphia Eagles fan and Flyers fan, even though I didn't reside in the same state. And we can hash that out real soon.
We will.
I'll die on that hill. Anyway, Shawn, I don't even know if you've said it yet. But I'll speak for myself. Did you say if we're in recovery?
I mean, I mentioned it at the top, but go ahead, bud.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in recovery. I can speak for myself here.
Real ball.
And he's gonna get a random drug screening after this episode, just so everybody knows.
I'm honestly, hot take, but maybe do that weekly. Yeah, so that's what brought me to Florida, South Florida here, where I reside now and have so for 8 years and some change. Was addiction and all the hell that came with that. I think it's still a popular thing. It seems like we meet a lot of people from like Arkansas and southern states these days, but I would expect that people are still coming down from New York and Jersey and wherever, Ohio. It's always Jersey and Ohio. We're always getting the drug addicts from Jersey and Ohio. But yeah, so came down here for treatment, as many do. Did the whole Google the, rehabs. Google rehabs, and it probably takes you to Florida. That's what happened to me. And thank God it wasn't like human trafficking situations, because I was just getting picked up by a driver for a rehab and so on. But yeah, and that the quick outline story is that just met people in the recovery community down here. I ended up sticking around rather in this area in South Florida. Met a lot of people in recovery and met you guys, which some days that's fine, and today it's not, but we became good friends. I think you guys enjoy my presence for the most part.
It is correct.
Yeah. I hope that I'm like a special kind of special to you guys. I want to be like we don't have another Corey in the group.
We definitely
certainly
don't.
True.
Yeah.
And you are special times 3.
Good. If Greg throws out another eggplant emoji, I'm gonna leave. But anyway, so yeah, man, that's we've as our trailer said, we've been through it all together. It all being lots of fun stuff in the past. For me, 7 to 8 years, I've known most of you guys. Lots of concerts, lots of events, lots of kids' birthday parties and whatnot, and it's been really cool to get to do this. Is really cool. I'll say it now, like the fact that Shawn, and like, not to call you out here, Shawn, but you're a bit of a, I don't know if you know this, but you're a bit of a spiritual advisor to me. And the fact that you would allow me to have a live microphone on a podcast that you're involved with is still shocking to me. I'm gonna blow it I'm gonna get a phone call one day and be like, dude, you can't say that. That's what I'm striving for. But yeah, no, I don't know. That's about it. Like, summing up, I'm just a kid from Jersey that ran into a hell of an addiction and been sober for about 8 years now. I met a lot of good friends and made some family along the way. So I think that's all I got.
Love it. The great thing about Corey going first is when the rest of us go, guys, he's going to be like, damn, I should have said that. Damn, I should have talked about that. Damn, I should have talked about that.
I knew you had a strategy.
No, I didn't. Definitely not. But good stuff, Corey. You are a special kind of special, and we do love you. And
curmudgeon is definitely the right word.
Yes. And it has been awesome hanging with you these past 8 years.
Krusty's not.
All right. Let's see. Who did we have next on the thing, it would be Mr. William. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, so my name is Bill DeLuca, and I am excited to be here. And first of all, I want to say thank God I am not from anywhere near Philadelphia. That's the first good thing I have going for me. I'm from a much more astute side of the state called Pittsburgh, and
The Midwest.
Shawn, please don't start. This is way too early to get into the Midwest debate. Now, also, unlike Corey, I haven't met anyone from Arkansas in years. I don't know where that came from, but I did move down here about almost 9 years ago, and I didn't come down for rehab. I had maxed out all that kind of stuff. I came down in the back of like a Chevy Cavalier type of vehicle, kind of someone who was, not too happy to have me in their vehicle. I had like 10 grocery bags of dirty winter clothes from Pittsburgh. I showed up here, South Florida in May with, Timberland boots and heavy flannels and a complete wreck. And I think all of us have that perspective. And, today I think I offer a unique perspective because today I own my own home. I'm married. I have children. I consider myself to be a productive member of society, and I really do feel as if like my life has sort of been a yin and yang movie. I've seen a lot of highs. I've seen a lot of lows from the very beginning. I'm the type of person that at age 15, I was in a group home and a college prep boarding school within the same year. And that's kind of been the story of my life, highs and lows. And I think going over that over and over again, like a lot of us or all of us here, we're now in our 30s. We offer a unique perspective because of that. We've been through a lot. I'm excited to deliver for everybody unique perspective. It's hard to be unique in this space because there's a lot of podcasts. Everybody and their cousins doing a podcast. But I pledge to everybody listening and everybody here tonight to do the best that we can to be creative, to push the boundaries, to be open, emotional, and unsolicited, about everything we talk about, for me. And, I'm excited to do that. I think it's a great outlet and a great opportunity. I love all three of these gentlemen. Two of these guys were up there with me during my wedding. The other one was invited. And, I think we've all been either at it or in each other's wedding. I think everybody asked Shawn, everybody in the Tri-County asked Shawn to be their best man. But also, I would take a bullet for any one of these guys. I really would. I mean, I love these guys like brothers. I wouldn't do this podcast with people I didn't love like brothers. I'm willing to invite guests on here that I don't love like brothers. But other than that, I wouldn't be in the trenches with you gentlemen unless I didn't. So thank you for inviting me to this. And I'm excited to do this with you guys and grow together.
Good stuff, man. Billy, you are actually the one and only person to ever ask me to be their best man. I've been in a lot of weddings. In a lot of weddings. Yeah.
I sure as hell didn't.
Let me fact check that. Michael.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Michael had Brian. Corey had Corey Kohler, which is fine. But I'm just happy to be here. And
Brian,
all right.
Brian was the best man like 600 times.
Brian was the best.
That might have been what I was saying. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that's all right. I am honored. And I just want for the record, Mark Urick, wherever you are, I am happy to have ceded that control over to you, buddy. You deserve it. So, all right, good stuff.
Bill,
he's gonna love that.
Bill,
go ahead.
Sorry you're from Pittsburgh, buddy.
You're sorry I'm from Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
That's a unique perspective.
And I, just for the record as well, I do not believe Pittsburgh is the Midwest, but that is a debate we will have to have at some point. So
that's why I didn't respond, because I already know you didn't. So you're just trying to trigger me.
All right, Mr. GA, what's up, dude?
What's going on, fellas? Not to sound redundant, but I am super pumped to be a part of this. This is, for lack of a better term, fucking awesome. And we've been talking about it for a little while. And yeah, it's just really cool to finally get it going and everything like that. But yeah, I'm Greg. I guess I am the Viking of the group. I am the only one out of the 4 of us that is unmarried with no children. I am like a 8-time Uncle Greg, whether it be from all of these fine gentlemen's kids or my own siblings' kids or whoever. So yeah, I'm basically a big kid myself, and a little bit of a wanderer and a little bit of a rambler and a gambler. And yeah, I don't
Love
know
it.
I don't know how to settle down, man, but that's all right. I'm from Cleveland originally, Ohio. And yes, there's plenty of us drug addicts and alcoholics up here, as well as Corey pointed out. But yeah, I after a good many years of suffering as an alcoholic and a heroin addict and everything under the sun, trash can of a human being. In 2016, I did the same thing as Corey. I stumbled out of a daze and opened up my phone and Googled heroin rehab and just clicked the first thing the first link, and boom, I was on a plane, So, um, but yeah, it's been a crazy, wild 7 years. I met all 3 of these guys in Florida. I met Bill first, fresh out of rehab, and in a sober living community that we shared for quite some time, and I met Shawn and Corey shortly thereafter. And yeah, it's just been a really wild ride, to see all of us kind of grow up and be a part of each other's lives. I got to see you guys children born and grow up, which has been just an honor to watch. I got to be in 2 of your 3 weddings, but I was present at Shawn's. Um, I think Shawn's was the first, so it was like he wasn't necessarily ready to ask me yet because I was still a little bit of a wild card and could have completely screwed up his ceremony. So I'm glad that he and I'm glad that I didn't screw up Corey and Bill's, but yeah, getting to be a part of your guys biggest days of your lives, man, is an honor that I have. And it's like I said, it's been a wild ride. um we I moved back up to Ohio, back home to Cleveland in 2020. I love coming back down to Florida and visiting. I love staying in touch with you guys. And this is just going to be like this much better is the fact that we're going to be doing this every week and everything like that. Um, I am avid Cleveland sports fan. I love arguing with Bill about Cleveland and Pittsburgh football, and I finally have a little bit of ammunition in the bag after this year to argue with Bill about football with, so that's exciting. Corey and I are Corey is my concert bro, so we go to a fair share of concerts together all over the country. Um, Corey and I are also I think all 4 of us are somewhat fans of old wrestling, but Corey and I are the definitely the resident wrestling fanatics. As you can see right up here, they don't just hand those out for nothing, just in case our audience didn't know that. So, but yeah, that's about it. I'm passionate about those things. I'm passionate about recovery. I'm passionate about helping people. So that's I'm excited to bring all that to the table here and lay it all out and talk. So yeah, thanks.
Unbelievable you'd come on here and talk crap about this Pittsburgh Steelers, Greg.
Trash.
Are you prepared to defend that belt?
Anytime, any place.
Okay.
Yeah, my
Okay.
money's on Greg. I do not like wrestling, just for the listeners that may not like it either. But I do like to I do like to get it in with these guys and make poke fun of it. I have watched a little bit of it. My mom actually wouldn't let me watch it growing up. That's a whole nother story. But we'll get Suzanne on here one day too.
Oh yeah.
Um, so you're talking about our seeing our kids and stuff like that and get born. My oldest daughter, who's now 7, pooped in Greg's hand once. So
This
used to
very
babysit. Yep. Yep.
Greg also gave Corey's daughter sugar for the first time as well.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was funny.
Oh, and Corey's
Corey
wife
wasn't upset. His
blames
wife
him,
was
yeah.
upset.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah.
Very upset. Did you
Oh,
just give her a piece of cake?
Are we allowed to? I mean, I guess we can do whatever we want. It's our podcast. Should we say our spouses' names and by first on this, or maybe just
I mean, I'd ask them first, but
refer to them? Good point.
Well, regardless, I appreciate you guys saying that, or somebody, I think it might have been Greg, saying that I was married and had kids, because I completely forgot that because I went first.
we got
My point
Corey.
exactly.
Yeah.
My point exactly.
Thanks.
So
I
Corey's got
hope she doesn't
two
listen to it.
wonderful kids. Corey's got
Brid-
2 wonderful kids and a wonderful wife, and there's absolutely stories attached to all that. So,
Oh, yeah.
Now your wife's gonna say Shawn gave me a bigger shout out than you did on the inaugural episode.
Yeah. All right. Listen, take 2. Let's start over.
Edit the whole thing.
So that leaves me. So I'm Shawn, as has already been stated. I am coming to you from an undisclosed South Florida location. I am also a sober member of this good world as of now. I've been sober quite some time. I met all 3 of you guys as you were getting sober. I am happily married. As a matter of fact, my 6-year anniversary is coming up next month, which is pretty cool. I have 2 beautiful kids. I have 2 girls. I from Virginia originally, a place in Virginia where we have no professional sports teams. So I always had to like go north or south to get my teams. I am a Washington Commanders fan by football. My second team would be the Baltimore Ravens because that's my wife. Her entire family are Raven nuts. Atlanta Braves and baseball. I mean, I can go down. I'm all over the place with sports, but I do love sports. I am passionate about it. I listen to all kinds. I mean, I get deep into all kinds of podcasts from men's college basketball and football, pro sports, baseball. I love golf. That will be a recurring theme on this podcast. It's to some degree. I'll keep it minimum, but golf is a huge passion of mine. I play multiple times a week. I like you guys. I was down and out, man. I was a street junkie, in and out of being homeless, living out of cars, just all kinds of manner of ridiculous stuff. Baker acts, a few jail stints, just running the streets. I was a thief. Um, Second to getting my fix was being a thief and stealing things. I used to get a major rush out of it. It was just who I was, and like you guys have already depicted in our, those stories might come out at some point and on some level. But life was bad. Life got really dark, and I am grateful that I found some sobriety and I found some support and been sober coming up 13 years here soon. And it's just a side note. My mom, God love Suzanne, she literally on the 8th, I got sober May 8th, 2011. On the 8th of every single month for the last 12 years and 9 months. I am not even kidding you. She has never missed a month. On the 8th of every month, she sends me like a text paragraph. And it's like a good solid paragraph of just like whatever, how grateful she is. Thank you, God. Thank you, this. Thank you, whatever. But it's like always a little different. Solid paragraph, never misses on the 8th every month. And I just want to throw her a shout out because that's pretty amazing. I came to this area, this undisclosed location, to get sober. Been here ever since. I love it. This is home for me. This is where I'm raising my family. It's a fantastic little area. I worked in food and beverage most of my life to some degree or the other, even in the first 10 years of my sobriety. Now I work in the child welfare system and I love it. I have a lot more freedom and autonomy in my schedule. It's really been a phenomenal change. And I just recently actually changed jobs within the child welfare system just a couple weeks ago. And now I have even more time to do like all kinds of stuff like golf, be with the kids, do a podcast, which is pretty cool. So I'm jazzed to be here. I'm like I told Bill Holt I'd give him a shout out because he called me literally 5 minutes before we started, and I was like, yeah, I told him about it a few weeks ago. And I was like, dude, I'm getting ready to record the first episode, and he was stoked. He said to tell you guys hi. I told him I'd give him a shout out, and he was very touched. So
Hi, Bill.
I'm just man, what a cool experience this is going to be. and I'm ready to take this ride with you guys. So
No,
with
hold. I
that
hope
being,
you're out there doing layup drills right now, because next time I see you out on that court, it's going down.
he's a softball like ninja, dude. He plays like 4 times a week. He's got a big tournament this weekend. Like he tells me all about it. He comes and meets with me once a week, straight from his on like a Monday afternoon, straight from his softball, all dirtied up in his uniform. He's a
Bill
nut.
Holt is better at basketball in withdrawal than most people could ever dream to be.
Indeed.
Boy's an athlete. So, all right. Let's see. With that, um, anything else you guys want to touch on real quick before we move along?
Yeah, good for your mom, man. Because my mom gave up after 7 months, texting me on my monthly anniversary. Shout out
Yo, and
Diane.
she does it to Catherine too.
What?
She does it same thing on the 26th of every month. Yeah. I totally just said my wife's name without asking her consent. So please forgive me, my dear, dear love. Um, all right, good stuff. So the next thing we want to do, guys, is just let's tell the listeners a little bit about what the hell this podcast is going to be about, which, like, admittedly, we have a lot of ideas and we may not even be exactly sure what we want this podcast to be about. But I can say one thing, and we've all touched on that we're in recovery. And I can promise you that, like, this is not going to be all about just recovery and just like that, because, it's just not going to be. We're well-rounded gentlemen and we want to talk about more stuff. But one of the segments, the weekly segments, or at least the regular segments that we do want to touch on is we're going to try to have a part of every podcast where we have just some tips for better living, whether that's meditation, breathing, healthy eating, healthy exercise, anything and everything, mindfulness, talking about therapy, whatever the case may be. Like, that's going to be one of our main goals. Is we're going to laugh a lot, we're going to joke a lot, we're going to say some outrageous stuff, most of which is going to be nonsense, and that's okay. But we do want to leave the listeners and ourselves with, like, this idea that, sobriety can be fun and we can be healthy and do things and kind of just, tips for better living. So I'll see to you guys. I want to kick it over to Greg next, if that's all right. And Greg, tell us a little bit about what you want this podcast to be about.
Well, certainly, I think, and thank you, Shawn. But like, for just to further elaborate on what you were just talking about, is one of the most important things to me about my recovery and sobriety in general. Is I think a lot of times we get things misconstrued, and a lot of people, they think that sobriety is this big struggle, and this big, battle every day. And in my experience, and I know in my brother's experience here, it doesn't have to be that way. We've been able to unlock a much better way of living, and been able to be free. And even and on those bad days, and we now are able to handle it, hopefully with a little bit of grace and dignity, and just kind of keep things moving. So that was very important to me. But yeah, we also just want to have fun. Me personally, I don't really have like a filter. So a lot of stuff will spew out of here. We wanted to come and have fun and crack jokes, and talk about the state of the world, sports, entertainment, that kind of stuff. But yeah, certainly, what are we doing in our daily lives as men, as members of recovery, and just as members of the human race, to help leave this place a little, hopefully a little bit better than we found it. So
Good stuff. Thank you, Greg. Bill, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll go next. First of all, thank you, Shawn, for hosting the podcast from your bathroom. We really appreciate it. So,
I had another name for it, but I'll let that be for now.
let it rip. I think Greg touched on it. To me, it's about expanding. I think that the version of what we've been through is only adds to what we can contribute, and there is no ceiling to what we're going to talk about, or what we can achieve in our own lives, and we want to transmit that to anybody, whether you're in recovery or not, or whatever your deal is. I'm personally addicted to almost anything that's good, or not good, but anything that can be in that realm. So I get it. To me, I want it to be fresh, creative, sort of like a science experiment. I mean, I'd love to talk one day, hopefully, on a podcast about a conspiracy theory. The next week about maybe a murder mystery. The next week about the Masters. The next week, about whatever. So I'm really open to whatever. I just think that the topic base is going to be extremely entertaining once we get rolling on this, because of how much we like to, make fun of Corey and listen to Greg and all those things. And it's just I think that I think like the world is our oyster in this section of podcasting. And I know personally from being behind the scenes and working on the upcoming to this, that we've all discussed, like Shawn kind of alluded to, such a wide variety of things. And the creativity is really going with that. So I'm just excited to see where it goes. And I just want to tell the viewers that we're going to expound upon pretty much anything and everything. And yeah, that's exciting to me.
Good stuff, man. Thank you, Bill. Mitchner.
Yes.
The floor is yours, good sir.
Oh,
what do you envision this podcast being about? And if you say the Philadelphia Eagles, so help me God.
You know what? I came here to ruthlessly defend whatever you guys want to attack me on. All right, whether it's the Eagles or whatever. I like irrationally too. I don't care. I still think the Eagles are going to the Super Bowl this year. All right, that's the way I'm supposed to be. I don't know. Yeah, I agree with everybody. Some of my favorite things are going to be the things that get me a little amped up. Probably usually pertaining to whatever you guys have to say about the Eagles, but also possibly maybe a little sneak preview, but you guys want to talk about my girl T Swift. Me and Shawn's girl T Swift.
We share her.
Those are some fun topics that we're going to talk about.
Vince McMahon.
The wrestling for sure. I definitely want to talk about wrestling, and there's a ton of things happening in wrestling. Oh, yeah. I mean, I almost called you last night after the whole thing, but lots of stuff happening in wrestling, like Greg said earlier. Greg and I are certainly avid wrestling fans. But yeah, I don't know. Just the latest in whatever's going on in the world, like what was said, sports. And to admit, I'm not very smart when it comes to sports. I'm just real passionate when it comes to Philadelphia, really, I guess. Although, and we'll get to it, but I also like to watch some other teams, especially coming up this Sunday. But even your guys' teams, as much as I don't like Pittsburgh and stuff, I was definitely rooting for the Steelers this year. Unfortunately that didn't pan out. Browns, just because I like to, you guys, I like the conversation I get to have with you guys when they're playing. Most of the stuff I find, and last thing I'll say is, I think we'd be in agreement that this was kind of born out of a group chat with us, where you guys just made fun of me anyway, so we may as well record it and give it to people, right? Right, Shawn?
Correct.
All right.
So, I didn't know that was directed only at me. Correct.
Well, all of you. I'm just, this is exciting.
Thank you, Corey. I think that's a good point, Corey, is that this really was spawned from just the four of us just like bullshitting in a text message thread for God knows how long. we've all been in other text message threads with each other and bullshitted our way for that. And it's just kind of what it's been about. Um, the idea came about like, hey guys, we should start a podcast. And I want to know real quick, I want to go around the room real quick. Who actually thought I was serious when I mentioned that the other day before I actually came back and was like, no guys, I'm serious. I have a cousin who does this for a living. Who actually thought like this was like one of those things you just say and it never really happens, or whatever, we come back to it a month or two from now.
Yeah. Each time that it progressed and you like sent another text in the group thread, like, hey, I talked to my cousin. We have a Zoom meeting at this time. Each time I was shocked again. Not anything about like on to say about you, but just like again, like he's gonna literally let me have a live mic and put this places where people can hear it. What a mistake.
Do you guys think it was like for real, or was it just kind of like, yeah, we'll see what happens?
I mean, when we first started talking about it, I'm like, yeah, of course we're going to start a podcast like everybody else under the sun. And of course, somebody that does podcasts, don't you? You know everybody, but no, it like, yeah, it's sweet, and it came together so quickly, so fluidly. Everything. I mean, we just brought this up 3 weeks ago, and boom, here we are doing it. So yes, completely shocked. Took 3 Viagra before this, so I'm shocked and rocked and ready to rock and roll. So let's get
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Good stuff. What about you,
Also,
Bill? Did you have, go ahead, Corey.
I just wanted to revert back to all the stuff I wanted to talk about in this podcast, and I just, for fair warning, I'm going to mention Dave Matthews Band probably at least once or twice every week religiously. So anyway, go on.
I'm good with that. What about you, Bill?
Not good with that. Not good with Taylor Swift. The podcast, on the other hand, yeah, I definitely didn't believe you either. I'm just like, yeah, Shawn's just blowing off steam right now. Maybe he's just trying to kick the can. But yeah, it did work out beautifully, and it's been a smooth process. And your cousin has been a huge asset, for us as well. So yeah, exciting.
Yeah. That's endearing to hear, because I've been like legitimately thinking about like just going solo, starting my own podcast. Really about like golf was my first thing, because I can legitimately talk about golf for hours and hours and hours, and some other sports too. But I've been thinking about this for a while. I had mentioned something to Janine, I think, like maybe 3, 4, 6 months ago, and it was kind of just like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll get together, we'll talk. And it's just one of those things, truly, when it's meant to happen, I think it was meant to happen, and it just kind of flowed. And like you said, I reached out to her that day. She got back to me right away, and the rest is kind of history. I mean, we're legitimately 3.5 weeks from that Monday. That was on a Monday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick on my end, I kind of ditto everything you guys have said. I am not, like, admittedly, I don't watch a lot of news. I don't watch a lot of I whatever's in my Google news feed, I kind of get updated on, which of course, like, lovely Google, it's like the stuff that I'm interested in anyways, I guess. My wife does watch a little bit more. She's a little more in tune to that. I do catch myself kind of staying up on current events with her. I don't have any social media. I actually had a MySpace once when I was in high school that the girl I was dating created for me. I never logged on to it. And when I broke up with her, um, she like never gave, she like, I never knew the login information. So she put a whole bunch of crazy stuff up there, and it like turned me off forever. So like all this stuff, is a lot new to me. I do listen to a lot of podcasts, so I'm like excited about this. I kind of have these ideas floating on in my head of how it's going to be. A hot take segment. I love the idea of a hot take segment. We've already got a handful of hot takes that we've discussed. That was a big part of our group text message thread, was just throwing on random shit and seeing what sticks to the wall and talking about it and giving our opinions. Sometimes, as Bill does so eloquently, like, he'll argue a point even if he doesn't believe in it, just to get the conversation going and the debate going, which I love. We, I love movies. I know we already talked about music. I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan as well. I have a few other bands that I really like. I'm a huge John Denver fan, and that is not a joke. That is not a joke. I
Ain't no
love
hate on
John
John
Denver.
Denver.
I
I'm
love
not going
John
to hate on
Denver.
John Denver either.
No,
I
love him.
legitimately have a bunch of his music, just the instrumental version, that I meditate to, like sometimes, not all
I
the
thought you were
time.
going to say you sing to.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that too. I do. I do.
Like freestyle, country
I
folk
sing
music.
"Sunshine on My Shoulders" to Catherine all the time.
Oh no, I
It's
thought you meant you were dropping like John Denver instrumentals in the living room at like 5 a.m. and just spitting bars like country style to it.
I mean, I might be. I don't know.
And another thing, this is the first thing you can make money off our podcast, because I'll give someone $100 if you're listening to this, and you can find Shawn's original MySpace. You can find Shawn's $100 coming your way. So it's a giveaway, a surprise giveaway on the inaugural episode.
So then,
go ahead and double that.
Ooh,
in that
200.
All right. In that vein,
Catherine probably can find it. Oh,
I'm gonna drop her name. The girl I was dating, her name was Connie Lobos, Constanza Lobos. I'll just say that. I'll leave it at that. Her name was Connie Lobos. We were in high school together.
Real quick, her first name was Costanza, like George from Seinfeld.
I might have that wrong. I just heard that. I'm pretty sure it was Costanza.
Horrible set of parents who named their daughter Costanza.
Was she a double agent?
Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Constance. I don't know. I called her Connie. That's how I knew her name, Connie Lobos. Her mother was a wonderful cook. Wonderful cook.
Shawn, this woman lied to you.
True story. I used to sneak in there at night, and I wasn't obviously allowed to sleep over. We were in high school, and I would have to like hide because we'd always fall asleep. And I would have to hide in her closet in the morning when her mom was like coming in the room and stuff. And like multiple times actually, I had to hide in the closet, and like I fell asleep in the closet, and she fell asleep, and we had a lot of fun. Lots of fun. Anyways, if you can find that MySpace, we're at $200. We're at $200. So
well, let's say $150 because I want 50 off the top.
A typical Philly move.
Just being here. What a scum. What a scum.
I feel like I deserve it.
Real scoundrel.
I want to find the MySpace. That's where my head went. I was like, I'm finding this tonight. I'm not sleeping tonight.
Where he logs off to go deep dive the internet.
Oh, he might. He might. All right, guys. So we are probably we're a good amount into this, and we know that not everyone listening to this might be like the huge sports lovers, but we are gonna touch on the Super Bowl because it is absolutely the biggest sporting event that's coming up very soon, and we are going to talk about it. We're going to make some predictions, and as Greg said very eloquently in our little pre-Zoom thing yesterday, like, you listeners are going to get to see just how really, really good we are at predicting or really, really shitty we are at predicting. I think Bill and Greg might have some odds for us, and we just want to get like just kind of our takes on it and maybe some analysis on it. So with that being said, Greg, Bill, do you guys want to kick that off and start it off with that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Go ahead, Greg.
All right. Well, yeah. Biggest football game of the year is 2 days away. So yeah, everybody's gearing up for that. Nobody will, besides us, will hear this episode until long after it's over. But yeah, we just wanted to talk a little bit about all the stakes going into the game, what we're going to be betting on, maybe build a couple spicy parlays for those of you who enjoy that kind of stuff. And discuss it in general. What are we pumped about? I know me personally, I've been saying it all year. I think the San Francisco 49ers are the most complete team in football. I'm not particularly a fan, but they're a fantastic team on both sides of the ball. They've been exposed a couple times, which is why I'm leaning towards the Chiefs coming out of this one victorious. That's just my take. They do not have as good a team as the 49ers, but they have the best quarterback playing in football today, and that guy is an absolute rocket of an arm, and he just finds a way to get it done. He finds a way to get it done the same way Brady found a way to get it done. All those years in New England. So yeah, if I'm a betting man, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. They can talk all day long about how undermanned he is at receiver and yada yada yada. I'm not betting against the guy.
Do you want to comment on why he sounds like Kermit the Frog?
But yeah, I think it just has something to do with maybe they didn't drop all the way, or maybe
Well,
he got hit real hard, up there. I have no idea because I've never heard a grown man sound like that. But
He is well aware of it though. And honestly,
what's his wife's name? Brittany.
Brittany. Yeah.
She's got them things in her
He's going to
vice.
be on Sports Illustrated cover model.
Yeah, hot take. That's trash.
And
Whatever.
She's about a 4.5. I'll give my take on the game real quick. So I want to say this. I don't encourage betting. I don't think you should bet, and I won't tell you to bet. However, if I was betting, I would put the entire house on Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's my advice to you if you're thinking about being betting on the 49ers. Don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot. Like, this is a clear no-brainer. First of all, Greg mentioned Tom Brady. I like Brock Purdy, and I think he can give some reflections of that, but I think he's going to get exposed. I think the Chiefs have 2 weeks to prepare. Pat Mahomes has been there. I mean, this is I think actually I know that the Chiefs are +2. They're getting points against the 49ers. I mean, who's writing these lines? I mean, people are going to go broke because I don't know anybody that likes the 49ers, and I like to be controversial. I like to pick the other side of things. I guess Shawn's going to give a hot 49ers take. I can't wait to hear that. But if you are going to take the 49ers, I would definitely take them with McCaffrey as the MVP, because if they win the game, the only way they win that game is the Great White Hope scores like 4 touchdowns, kicks a field goal, and returns a kickoff. Because otherwise, Andy Reid and them boys are going to be running triple reverses over the top, all that noise. So I love the Chiefs in this game, but I hate the Chiefs in real life, and I hate Pat Mahomes probably even more. He's my most hated athlete since Shawn's other favorite athlete, Steph Curry.
Wow.
God, I do love me some Steph Curry. That was very well said. Corey, do you mind if I take it real quick?
Go ahead. I got something to say, but go ahead.
All right, good. No, we got time for you, bud.
Oh,
all right. So I also don't bet. Like, legitimately don't. I have no idea like what odds mean. I mean, I guess I kind of have an idea, but I I pick with my heart all the time. I believe the San Francisco 49ers are going to win this game. I think it is going to be a dog match. I truly do. Kansas City does have I think their best version of defense that they've ever had, personally. Like, because they've always been like, people keep comparing them if they repeat this year, because they won last year, to the, what was it, the 03-04 Patriots, right? When they won back to back. That was a defensive minded team. Those 03-04 Patriots were, Brady wasn't even Brady yet. I mean, he kind of was, but not really. Not to where we know him today. Those Patriot teams, Kansas City, up until this year, their offense kind of like low key stinks, and it's not Pat Mahomes. I will acknowledge that he is a great quarterback and currently the best quarterback of this playing generation. I acknowledge that. I do not like him. I never will like him. Just like I can acknowledge LeBron James is great. He'll never be as great as you know who, or RIP Mr. Bryant. Just say that yesterday was his day. So let's just say LeBron could be number 3. That's another conversation. But yeah, I know. This is a defensive-minded Kansas City Chiefs team. However, I think that my friend Kyle, yes, Mr. Shanahan, is an absolute genius, and I think that the scheme is going to win out. I know CMC is the Great White Hope. I think he is as well. Brandon Ayuk may be from a logistical standpoint, the perfect route runner. I know Rashid Rice on the other side on Kansas City's end is like just fast and powerful and put him in some straight lines and he might beat everybody. But Ayuk is the number one receiver, right? I think he has to step up and have a big game. I think Purdy's going to find Kittle and who is it, Juszczyk, the other tight end, when like as a security blanket. And but all that aside on the offensive side of the ball for San Francisco, Mr. Deebo Samuel is going to be. He may not have the numbers, he may not have more rush yards, more pass yards than McCaffrey, but there's going to be like 2 or 3 plays that he's going to make that's going to be the difference maker in this game. That's all.
Period. Can I just say something? I think what I got really out of Shawn's take was everybody take Kyle Juszczyk anytime touchdown prop plus 3,000. That's what I got out of that one.
Is that a plus 3,000?
Plus 3,000, and I think that is brilliant. I do think they're going goal line Juszczyk off the right end, right at the pylon.
And Bosa is going to get mobile and loose, and he's going to roam around and fuck shit up.
Ooh. Barnyard.
Corey, sorry, barnyard.
My turn?
The Eagles aren't playing.
They'll be there. So, I don't like where this is going. Okay, so let me get this straight. We know where Bill stands, right? You don't like Kansas City. Greg, I don't remember if you identified like who you would rather to win. You said that KC would win, but is that who you would rather win?
I have no skin in the game. I do respect Patrick Mahomes, unlike my other co-hosts here. Or I respect what the guy does. And I love Kelsey. Kelsey, the things that Kelsey's doing this postseason are phenomenal.
He's amazing.
He is. But I see Bill rubbing his brow over there, dude. Doesn't agree with.
Yeah, leave the brow alone.
Yeah, leave the guy's personal.
I know one thing he's getting right. Getting real right. And that's my girl.
It's getting something.
All right, so, but I will say this. I would love to see, I don't think it's going to happen. I'd love to see CMC get a ring. He deserves it. The guy's been an absolute stud for his entire career, barring some seasons with injury, and he always came back from them. He put in his years and times on some dog shit teams in Carolina, and he 100% deserved offensive player of the year, and certainly should have been in that MVP conversation. So if he gets a ring, I'll be happy, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, so
real quick. On that note, sorry, CMC's wife over Kelsey's wife any day of the week.
Oh, hands down.
Not okay. You're just getting crazy now.
Isn't it Olivia Rodrigo? Right?
It's Olivia right? Something I don't know, but it's
Olivia.
Her.
Yeah, Olivia, come on over, okay?
Okay, so that leads me to what I was curious about with you guys. Like, would you rather see Pat Mahomes achieve greatness, or would you rather see, Brock and CMC get their ring?
Can I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Here's the deal. I'll admit it. Like, I was totally like when Brady went to the Bucks. That I think that's when I started paying a little bit of attention, because it was just like you just wanted to see something that may never be duplicated. And honestly, with Pat Mahomes, like, I don't, he's not. I'm a Kelsey fan, both of them, both brothers. Obviously, Jason first, but by extension, I feel like Kansas City is like I guess you could say like a brother, but I was gonna say like a cousin. Like I'm rooting for KC by extension of the Kelsey brothers. I think. I just want them to do well, and I am one of those people that just love the family. Donna Kelsey and all that. I watch their podcast every Wednesday, New Heights, and so that's where I'm at with it. But Pat Mahomes, I also want to see, like, he's just so good that it's hard for me not to root for him. I don't know all the stuff that you guys are talking about as an amateur sports fan over here, but like that's where my heart is with KC here. I just want to see him I want to see him stay in the conversation of like the greats with Brady and whatnot. I do also just think that they are going to win. I think Pat Mahomes is he's gonna ball out. So I know 49ers are, like Greg said, the most complete team, whatever. I just think that Pat Mahomes is gonna find a way to win. And so is Kelsey. And Pacheco. Is Pacheco playing? He's not hurt, right?
Yeah, he's playing.
That guy runs like a monster too.
You got to root for him. He's like a 6th round draft pick. He runs like someone like the Rents do.
And to what you just said, like real quick, I also like I can sympathize with the whole like Brock Purdy last pick in the draft or whatever. Like I know it's
a little overplayed by now.
Yeah, like Mr. Irrelevant, whatever.
It's very rare. But I would like to say, Corey, if you're done,
I'm good.
Okay, that brought up a great point, Corey. Is I will say this: there's this thing called like the Steelers Handbook, guys, and if you're not a Steeler fan, you don't know. But so when we're not in the Super Bowl, which is rare, you know what I mean, every once in a while, when we're not in the Super Bowl, we have a complete list of why we want people to win and why, right? So actually, to give where my heart is and my allegiance has to be by the oath that I took at birth, I am rooting for the Chiefs because the 49ers total Super Bowls are 5 and the Steelers have 6. So I'm hoping that everyone on the Niners gets hurt and that Pat Mahomes, believe it or not, wins the Super Bowl. And, every year, like the Tom Brady point that Corey made about the Buccaneers is whenever I was allowed to be a Tom Brady fan as well. But I still have many, many close friends and relatives that will still tell you that Tom Brady's trash, that he's a system quarterback. And that's kind of the Steeler allegiance to things. But I've developed a little bit since I've moved, but that's where my heart is, at least. So I'll be rooting for Mahomes, believe it or not.
So in the interest of maybe wrapping up the Super Bowl discussion, if I may be so presumptuous here, I say KC by 3. You guys want to give?
So this is what you have to do, Corey. This is what all the greats podcasts do. You have to actually call a score.
You know what? Let's go with last year's 30. What was it? What did we lose by? 30. What the hell was it? 35, 32? 30, 33.
I don't even remember.
I don't know. Skip me. Go. Hold on.
I'm going to go San Francisco 33-27.
I'm going to say 35-21 in a wild beatdown by the Chiefs.
Ooh.
Would you say 35-21, Bill?
Chiefs.
I like that. All right, let me put it in a little bit different terms, but I'm going to still put it out there. Chiefs -2.5.
Okay.
And because life is too short to bet the under, 47.5 over, baby. Let's go.
We still need your score though. The score because we need to record it.
Chiefs 41. Niners.
Wow, that's a high scoring game.
41 what?
41-38 Chiefs.
What was yours, Shawn?
It was 33-27
Niners. Corey?
Yes, Niners, 100%.
Corey?
I am
Shanahan
with
specifically.
Chiefs 38-35, same as last year.
38-35, and then I had 35-21. Okay, got it.
And real quick, the last little bit here is what we were already going to talk about. We didn't mention. Will Lil Jon be making an appearance on the halftime show?
Yeah.
No.
So according to this article that I'm reading, yes, he will.
Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift comes out with Bad Blood.
Looks like he might have Justin Bieber on there as well. I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah,
the Biebs.
So, oh wait,
can't get rid of that guy, man.
Well, I guess they're prime spot, possibly Ludacris, Beyonce, Keys. Who's Keys?
Alicia, dude.
Oh, in addition to Keys, okay. I love her. That was actually My freshman girlfriend in high school, our song was an Alicia Keys song.
Yeah. What's not to love?
I agree.
She's
There
gorgeous.
is, on another note, there is a live Super Bowl bet, Super Bowl MVP speech prop bet. Will the MVP mention Taylor Swift? Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes, plus 750. No, minus 1600.
Oh
tasty.
yeah, yes, all day. Yeah.
So, all right, I love it, guys. So, in the interest of, like we said, we gotta get wrapped up here pretty soon. Couple things. Does anybody want to touch on our lovely producer is just said Beyonce is overrated. It's not Beyonce, it's Alicia. Beyonce is overrated. Alicia Keys is she could be
Underrated.
she's glorious. But anyways, so one of the things that Corey put in the the agenda was over under on how many times they show T Swift. So I'm gonna set it at 13 and a half.
Damn.
Corey,
That's
over
a
under
lot.
13 and a half. I don't know, dude.
No,
Over under 13 and a half.
It's gonna be under.
Is this from opening kickoff or pregame as well?
From
Let's go.
the moment, I was going to say the moment the telecast begins, because it always comes on. No. I don't mean like I think it starts at like 6 p.m. The game starts at 6:30, but the telecast comes on live on CBS.
Oh, the CBS broadcast.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So we're talking
broadcast.
from kickoff or from the time the telecast starts?
From the time the CBS broadcast starts at
Okay.
6 o'clock.
Okay.
To the end of the ceremony. Like
this is an easy over.
100%.
I feel like we gotta make it more specific, like from her seat, because if the Chiefs win,
the Chiefs win,
standing
up the whole time,
all up in that camera.
Yeah,
that's part of the prop.
Right, that's part of it. And if she doesn't, I'm gonna take the over, and I think it's over
in a loss.
13 and a half, even if they lose.
Yeah,
right?
that's
she
hot.
won't be on the field. I think it's still over.
Listen, it's probably mandated by the NFL that they have to
have a certain amount of time.
She has made them like what I forgot what the number was the other day. $340 million in extra revenue this season. They're gonna show her 13 and a half is an atrociously low number. It's going to be upwards of 20.
Okay. I think it's a great line, but it's over. I'm going to go over.
I'm going under, but somebody's got to count it. I'm not counting it. No way. I have kids. Can't happen.
I'll count it. I'll figure it out.
I'll be lucky to even watch it.
I'll have a whiteboard system set up.
You can probably just Google it afterward, and it'll have it on. They'll have that number on there.
I'll be keeping live tally.
All right, boys. Listen, any closing thoughts, closing comments, anything you guys want to say, anything you didn't get off your chest, anything you want to?
Yeah, if you're listening to the podcast, and whether you know us or not, Shawn mentioned, Trudge Report Pod on the several social media features.
Good call.
Whether you know us or not, don't be shy about reaching out. And another thing is mailbag or topics, anything you guys want to hear, let us know about it. We love to be interactive from the jump here.
Good stuff. I like that. And you know what? Why don't we save that? We talked about like kind of mentioning what the title of our show means. We'll save that for another pod. We'll save that. We'll kind of get into that in more detail. Greg, anything you want to say?
The name of the pod is a mystery left unsolved. So you'll have to tune in next week to hear exactly why. But yeah, follow us on. We got upcoming stuff. We're all over social media. We'll be putting the clips up. We'll be putting the episodes up. Spotify, Apple, Instagram, Facebook, all that. Yeah. We need your support, and that's how we'll know we're doing a good job or not doing a good job. And like Bill said, no topic is off limits. So fire it in, and we'll be happy to review it and talk some shit about it. So.
I don't think Greg would care if I mentioned this, but before the show, we actually discussed, he said if we hit 100,000 followers, that him and Constantine were going to wrestle for the title belt behind him over there. So that's a good incentive for everybody to follow the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would do it. I mean, for the podcast, let's say 100,000 followers. That's what we need. I'd do it for free. We could have 3 followers. I'd do it. But yeah,
I'm commentating that.
That's
It's gonna
fine.
be a slobber knocker.
Yeah, by God, King.
Corey,
I got him, broke him in half.
Hi, Shawn.
hey buddy, any closing thoughts, my friend?
No, I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, we do maybe a hot take of the week next week, and it better poke me in some nerves. All right,
Oh, we'll poke
So-
you a little bit.
I'm looking forward to it.
We will poke you. We will
Everybody
poke you.
covered it all else. Like us, subscribe, all that
Yeah.
jazz.
And I want to give a big shout out to Miss Janine Stella behind the scenes. Stella Mix podcast company. She's amazing. She has been our guiding light so far in this very new journey, and hopefully for a very long time to come. As everybody has mentioned, that does it for our first episode. Thank you so much for tuning into Trudge Report. Just a reminder, once again, be sure to like and subscribe on all social media using the handle at Trudge Report Pod. Again, that's at Trudge Report Pod, TrudgeReportPod. Check back every Tuesday for the latest episode, and we will see you guys soon. With that, cheers, boys and girls.